6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to, I guess we could call this a pop-up. Not sure what the right words to call it, but it's definitely an opportunity to go deeper on a topic I'd say most of the world doesn't really know about yet. It's an area I'm very excited about. And you can ask my fiance, I'm doing everything I can to actually focus on my main tasks and main work every day. And this is one of those things where you get once you understand how it works, Albert, I'm sure you can remember when you first started getting into it, you're like, I got to do this. So anyways, guys, we're going to talk about NFTs today. I have an expert in my eyes. I know he would probably say he's still striving and aiming for greater levels, as we all are, but definitely someone who knows the space pretty well and enough to teach me. Before we even met, he's taught me through his YouTube videos, and we were able to connect, and just want to go deeper into the mind of Albert Polanco today as we learn about what the heck are NFTs, some of the secrets. And then Albert, as I mentioned to you, I have some questions as well for my own portfolio, I guess you could say, in the world of creating NFTs. So there you go. That's the intro. Any comments on your end? I guess kind of share a little bit about your background and where you're coming in from.
Yeah, man, I appreciate this opportunity. I'm happy to be here. So I've been a believer in crypto since probably about 2015, 2014-ish time. And I've seen this whole ecosystem evolve on the crypto side. I've believed in the technology. I thought it could really change the world. And NFTs is something that I first encountered with CryptoKitties. I kind of heard about it. I was like, this is wild.
I just remembered. So that's the thing there. We got to explain what's CryptoKitties.
Okay, so
right, we're starting from the ground.
Gotcha. So CryptoKitties was this. I'm sorry. Can you hear my cat? It's kind of loud.
Because you're talking about CryptoKitties, so she's
she's like meowing over here. Anyway, so CryptoKitties is a digital cat, and it's a game that they built on the Ethereum blockchain, right? Which it's a digital collectible that each one is unique, and provably unique, stored on the blockchain. And it's kind of a game where you breed them and then they make other cats, right? And so it's this digital collectible asset. And they started selling for a crazy amount of money. And I started hearing about it and I was like, what is this? Like, why would people be spending this money on, like,
we're talking like millions probably in about what, 2018, I want to say.
Yeah. So it was wild to me, the concept. I thought it was absurd, but the more I started looking at the underlying technology and what the possibilities were, I was like, and I might be, did I answer that question?
Yeah. So okay. That was good. It was kind of like it was the first version of what you and I are really geeking out about now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. And I think you should mention too, if like a little bit of just, you've been around the world a little bit, your dad, you're out of Houston, right? Like,
yeah. So I'm from Houston. I've been in the marketing, I have a marketing background. I've done stuff in the videography space, marketing space. Graphic design was where I first started many, many years ago. All of that stuff was self-taught because I needed to do something, like I needed to build a website. So how do I build a website? So I teach myself, but I got to travel around the world with the wheel industry, doing videos for wheel companies and stuff like that. I was in the Marine Corps. Just a little bit about me. I got out of the Marine Corps, and I've done so many different things because I like to experiment, I like to try different things. I've been in the e-commerce space. But what really got me here was, I'll share this with you guys. Just it's a personal thing. But last year, me and my wife both lost our jobs to COVID at the same time. And the next month, she got injured. She fell while having a seizure, and she broke her neck and back. And since then, it's been really, really tough. But during that time, I couldn't work. I couldn't get a regular job because I had to be with her. So it was really tough. And we came up with an apparel brand. Right. And
I did see that. I love the marketing for that too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So we came up with this apparel brand called Gorilla Vibe, and we used it because we both love animals. I have 10 animals here. We love animals, and we use that as like a way to focus our energy on something positive while all the craziness was going on. And that kind of grew for a little bit, but with her health decreasing, getting worse, as time has gone by, it's been hard to focus on that. And like NFTs kind of refocused me, reinvigorated me in a way that other things haven't. And so I'm using some of the stuff that we created into a new community-driven NFT series that I'm working on called Crypto's Utopia. But yeah, that's kind of like a little bit about me and what I'm doing in the space. Also, I have an NFT resource. So I'm going to share that with all of you guys. It's Nifty Farm, nftyfarm.com, where I have like videos and like explainers and like what words mean, like YouTube videos on how to do wallets, different wallets, the different blockchains. Like it's just going to be a hub of resources that anybody can go to, whether you're on the collector side or whether you're on the artist side. And I'm going to be networking with other people, like putting as many resources there as possible, just so, because I know there's so much going on in the space. It's hard to wrap your head around it. Like you said earlier, you can lose yourself in this. Like there's so much going on. Like you can literally wake up in the morning and do nothing but look up and learn about NFTs till like 1 a.m. You're like, where did my day go?
Real quick, I want to get the URL in our chat on Facebook. It's nftyfarm.com.
Yeah, and nftyfarm.com. So right now, if you go there, you just click at the top, there's a resource page. There's already a bunch of stuff on there, but it's going to be a living, growing, breathing document that's going to continuously, we're going to add new stuff. I'm going to be creating more videos on how to do different things. Like some of the questions you may have today that I answer will actually turn into videos at some point. I have a couple of videos that I know I need to make right now to help people.
Awesome. I love it. You come from a place of service. You know what your why is. You are clearly, as a dad and a dad of 10 animals, I was joking with you before how I have a little puppy running around here. You're putting the work in, man. So, and you served, so thank you for all of your service. No wonder I'm just grateful to be attracted to you. And I love that you were checking out some of the dance videos we had there too. So let's start getting nerdy on NFTs. And for anyone who's new to this space, bear with us, but I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole enough now to have some technical questions for Albert. And I really want to get myself to the next level. And hopefully everyone else can kind of chime in and just be a part of this experience. There's so much opportunity, especially from what we're seeing right now, even when people collaborate, like just speaking up, raising your hand, going live, asking a question, watching a video, just working with other people is going to help us all get to the next level faster. No pun intended, take it to the next level. So, so Albert, I am at a point with my NFT journey where I've learned how to mint and create assets on the Wax blockchain. I was advised by Jillian Godsell, who spoke in this group about a week ago. You guys can go check out that interview. Jill advised me there's a few different places, but she said Wax is probably the best one to start for reasons that maybe even you can help explain here. But I just want to know, now that I know how to mint an asset and list it, I've noticed that now when I list it, if I'm looking at it, like when I'm not logged into my account, it says, hey, this asset is not verified. You want to make sure that it's the original or something like that. Like, how do I verify the assets that I'm uploading to the marketplace?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm going to answer the first part and then get into that part. The Wax blockchain, for those that don't know, is based on a competitor to Ethereum. Ethereum is the major smart contract blockchain. It's based on EOS. And EOS fundamentally operates differently. It's built more towards scalable commercial solutions versus where Ethereum is trying to scale. EOS has already got a platform that can scale. So the Wax blockchain is different from Ethereum, and it's low friction. You're not paying high gas fees that you're hearing about. If you've heard anything about NFTs, you've heard, oh my God, gas fees. Like, why am I spending, to transact, to spend or move around $20, I have to spend $100. Like, how does that make any sense? It's just because on Ethereum, you are basically paying to use the highway. Okay. And so you think of blockchains as different highways. Ethereum is one highway. It's really congested right now. Wax is a different highway with less friction. It's faster, cheaper to transact. And that's just because it's based on EOS, the underlying technology. Now, as far as your question to how to get verified, there's a process. I will actually make a video. What's that?
Okay, cool. I was going to say, I just realized, if I could either share my screen or you could share your screen too, if you think it's something that can be done like this. But then you just mentioned making a video too, so if that'd
Yeah,
be
well,
easy.
I can also share my screen really quick to show you where it is.
Okay.
If you'd like. Here, let me see. Sharing my
Definitely.
screen. Okay, can you see my screen yet?
I see it.
Okay, so when you go to, okay, so here you go
Oh,
to,
real quick too, because I'm looking at this. I've actually after following one of your videos, I was being stupid and I accidentally made like 5 collections. Is there any way to delete an old collection, or once you create it, it's got to stay there?
no, no. So that's
All
the
right.
thing. Okay, that's the thing about blockchain is these some of this stuff when you do it you can't undo it, and that's part of the power of blockchain, but that's also like, oh man, I didn't know that, so I messed up. And everybody's done it. Even though I've been in the space a little while, I've made mistakes on my collection. So the other video that I know that people want to see, but it's still kind of hard, is to operate on the test net, which means you can have a test account on the test network that's not live. It doesn't cost real money. You can get fake wax to play with it, and it's the same thing. It's the same platform, but you're on a test network before you go live, right?
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I will make a video on how to do that. It's a little bit technical. You have to go to a few different places, but as far as what you're looking for, here's the whitelist requirements, right? When you go to
Okay.
NFT Creator, whitelist requirements, it's going to tell you what the whitelist requirements are. They kind of outline it, tell you what's possible, what's not possible, and then here's where you submit a white.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so it's going to take some time, right? It took probably close to a month to get our collection whitelisted. We
Wow.
just got whitelisted yesterday. So
Congrats.
yeah, literally they go through this process, then somebody actually reaches out to you and say, hey, can you prove that your art is original and stuff like that? So they're doing their due diligence. They're looking into it before they whitelist. Whitelist is step one. That means that when you're on the marketplace, right, you don't have to, your stuff will show up here, because otherwise you have to click, normally this is checked, right? It's only whitelisted NFTs. So only, the big collections will show up. But if you unclick this, then you can see unlisted or unwhitelisted, right? Now, I wouldn't sleep on the unwhitelisted NFTs. Like if you see really cool artists, you might want to do some extra research, but if you see really cool artists that are not whitelisted yet, because the process is takes so long and they're overloaded right now, you could get into some artists that you think are going to be really successful before they become whitelisted. Now, whitelisted is step one. That does not mean the next step is called verification, like level 1 verified. And so that's these bigger platforms, these bigger collections, like Bitcoin Origins. I believe they're level 2 verified.
Where's
Level 1, level
Deadmau5
2.
at? I know he's in there.
Yeah, he is. If I exit here,
And
Deadmau5.
for me, being someone pretty much new to the space, I think Deadmau5 and Atari were like the only brands that oh, and Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So you just click the collection here. But you could search for collections. So like ours comes up now, crypto zoo top. See, so it comes up because we are whitelisted now, right? But like I said, that there's some opportunity here to get in on some artists and collect some
I'm
items.
in there. I'm in there. If you click on, you can see mine. You're gonna probably laugh at my stuff, but we can look at it if you want. It's
Yeah, no,
next level and next level NFT.
okay, cool. No, and
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, cool. Okay. So yeah, it shows up. But I had this unchecked. I
Had it
think that if
unchecked,
I,
right?
yeah, yeah. And like I said, I do not, like, if you're looking to collect obviously big IP like Street Fighter, yeah, you want it to be the whitelisted version because they did the verification. But as far as like up and coming artists, definitely don't sleep on the ones that are not whitelisted, because I know a couple of series that I know will be successful, at least in my mind, that I've been buying up as much as I can because I know they are going to be whitelisted, and I know at some point in the future they will be verified. Like
Interesting.
the guy that I talked to at the the developers of this, of the Atomic Hub, they reached out to me and they were doing the verification. I asked them about how do I get verified after whitelisting. They said, well, you have to grow your collection. But based on the quality of your collection, I don't see that, I see that you could be a verified at some point in the future. You just have to build up the collection, build up the community, and then they will kind of open that up to you, right? So it's something to look forward to.
To go from verified to whitelisted, you have to
Whitelisted first. Yeah, whitelisted is first. That means, hey, they did some background on you. Verification would be the next step. Level 1 verified would be the next step. Okay, so you need to build out the collection, have like a theme to it. The quality, it should be a good quality. There should be some cohesiveness to that collection. And then obviously I'm also thinking that they want to see aftermarket trading and selling and stuff, like some movement in the marketplace to say, okay, this is something that we could verify.
Can we take a look at one of your collections right now and just see? I kind of want to see what it looks like, so that way I have something to work towards, just from an organization standpoint.
Yeah. So our collection is, so this idea, I'll explain the idea really quick. The idea behind Crypto Zootopia is it's going to be a gamified, community-driven NFT series project. So basically, there's this fake mythical land called Crypto Zootopia, and I wanted to create something that was fun, low entry barrier, right? But artists, there's going to be artists and collectors, and so when this mythical land, there's going to be a new land available for exploration, and new species are found. Right? It's based on funny animals, right? So this is Trash Panda, right? Right now I'm still, it says collections whitelisted but not verified. You see, I still have that on my list, on my thing. But Trash Panda, right? So Trash Panda is a funny name for a raccoon. So the artist will be able to create sketches that the community will vote on by buying that artist's NFT, right? There's a whole gamified experience. And so I needed to jumpstart the community and create some to show the concept. But basically, it's to be a gamified experience where people can vote on an artist because there's a new species, released. So Trash Panda is the new species that was found. An artist can create a sketch. The community can vote on it. The winning artist will then get to create the official NFT, right? And it's going to be a limited number. So there's a hard cap on the total number and a hard cap on each species, so that if this community grows and it's all about fun and having fun, but if it grows and becomes popular, the artists that were involved and the collectors that were involved,
you got to change your if to when.
Yeah, it's true. The way you speak is important. But yeah,
when it grows.
I'm not trying to promote the series. I'm just trying to explain to you, the idea
I
behind what I'm doing, behind this project. I'm looking for artists. I'm looking for people who want to collect this, who want to be involved in the very beginning, because this is early. But yeah, let me answer your questions about this specific collection.
I think it is important to talk about this too, because I think anyone who's new to the space, they might be looking at this. I mean, for example, working with commercial real estate investors on a daily basis, they might look at this and like, it looks like something that, like a kid or whatever would be into. But at the same time, like I've seen, and I know you've seen, like stuff like this is selling for really, amounts that you wouldn't expect.
I mean, if you look at Bitcoin Origins, which is a series about moments in time in kind of the history of Bitcoin, like, I mean, they're doing millions of dollars in sales. I don't even know the number, but there's some serious money being moved in this. It's bringing out a part of people. Like I said, crypto was very serious. It's very financial. It's very like stressful, and NFTs is more like fun, especially on the Wax blockchain, right, where you're not paying hundreds of dollars to mint something, hundreds of dollars to, like, you can do a $1 NFT, you can do a $5 NFT.
Before you start going deeper too, so really the community you're creating is you want to build up a group of people that are going to submit art similar to this, hoping that you or whoever approves their art and puts it basically like listed in the Crypto Zootopia collection. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So it's going to be a community of artists and collectors. And I'm doing the sketch, like the whole idea is to do sketches, because I don't want people to invest, hours of work to not win, like, it's like, give us the idea, your idea, and document it.
Dude, I'm definitely sending in some ideas. I'm starting to get some ideas.
Yes. So I'll be releasing the species, like say another species was the pantless thunder goose, which is a name for an ostrich. It's a funny name for an ostrich. And so what are the sketch ideas? And then let the
Oh,
community decide, you know?
yeah, real quick, I just realized we had some comments coming through here too, real quick.
Okay.
That's so cool though. Now I'm starting to really see more of the collaboration piece. So my buddy Kevin, she asked, how do you put stuff up for auction? That was one question. And then the other one's from Courtney. What's up, Courtney? Is there a size or bandwidth difference between Ethereum and Wax? Like how big are the highways and how much data can they support?
Okay. Could you repeat the first question again?
Yeah, so the first one is how do you put stuff up for auction? Can we see
Okay.
list something live?
Yeah, so let me show you how to do that. So let's say I have some here.
I like how you've gone with like kind of the GIF idea for all of yours too.
Yeah, I like the animated movement. So the artists that I worked with for this one, right? This was a collaboration between me and another artist because I wanted to jumpstart the series.
So,
I did the animation and I did some of the card, but the character and the artwork was commissioned by an artist. You know, I commissioned an artist to create that character because this was kind of like my vision for this specific character. But anyway, to do an auction, you would go to let me see.
are you hoping for as you receive more, I guess, species or animal submissions for them to look similar to that trash panda in animation?
So like I said, with the sketch submission, they're going to submit. I'm going to help these artists. The other part is I'm going to help artists to get into NFTs, right? Like I'm going to show them how to do it. They're going to create an NFT with royalties set. We're going to preset a number to keep it accessible to the community. But basically, they're going to submit a sketch and create an NFT sketch. Then they're going to transfer it over to our account so we can administer the election. But basically, the people who vote will be buying that NFT as a sketch. And the one with the most purchases will get the contract to then spend some time and create the final looking version. You know, like, hey, I'm going to actually invest more time. Those sketch NFTs could become pretty valuable. Like there's some ideas on like having the artist mint a special edition with their sketch, because that sketch, if it goes on to become the official NFT, like you supported that artist before it became an official NFT. Let's say when this thing becomes a big deal, you were there in the very beginning. So there's just a lot of opportunity. Like there's so much opportunity here that, you know,
I love it. I love it
to play with. You know, this is a gamified thing, but you could do this with other things too. Like they could support you and what you're doing as a channel. You know, like what you're doing. Everything that you're doing, you could turn it into an NFT that people support you. Like, hey, you were there early, so I'm going to reward you. I'm going to send you NFTs. I'm going to add this extra utility because you invested in me and you believed in what I'm doing. Anyway, let's get back to.
Sorry,
yeah, it's so exciting. Let me go to inventory here. I have a bunch of NFTs.
And you're only working with the Wax blockchain, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've done some stuff on Rarible, I've done some stuff on Mintable, but as far as ease of use, the community, the fun factor for me, the amount of money that you spend, I'm on Wax right now. Like I love Wax.
I remember seeing I see your gorilla one here. I remember seeing that in the YouTube video, that first one.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of like a promo deal. Like that was a shirt. This was in response to everything that was going on, you know, with the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. It's just people were so angry. So I came up with the shirt. It's like choose love over everything.
Because you're right. Everyone, no matter what color you were, everyone was pissed off. And I see you coming through with the love, man. I'm like, let's go.
So here, you can click on an asset that you own, right? You could do, it's an asset that you bought or an asset that you created. You click list on market, right? And over here, you can click auction, right? So that's the thing. It's kind of hard to see. You can put it for sale or you can set it for auction.
What's your strategy on auction?
So auctions is, you know, there's a lot of people doing this a lot better than I am, right? I know a lot, but I'm still learning and I have only so much bandwidth. I got so many things going on. there's the real way to market this stuff is to be all over social media. Twitter, especially if you're into NFTs, like the space right now, Twitter is the space to be. Twitter, Clubhouse. Now Telegram has a voice feature like Clubhouse, which I was just experimenting with that, which is pretty cool. So that means that Android users aren't totally left out. If you get into a good room, there's a way to have these voice chats like Clubhouse. But those are the places where you want to promote your auction, your sale listings. And there's some artists that are really doing well on the marketing aspect. And that's another thing that in my group that I want to do is to bring on artists that are doing really well and kind of codify and help other artists to market their NFTs, because it is flooded right now. People are rushing into this space. And it's a lot of noise. So how do you break through that noise? You got to understand how to market yourself. So I would say the auction thing is cool because it introduces like a gamified and different emotional experience. Like I was trying to bid on a series that's not whitelisted that I really, really like. And I believe in the artist. I like the artist. I'm friends with the artist on Facebook. And I got outbid. I was so excited like yesterday. I'm like watching the countdown go. I'm like, yes, I'm going to win this first edition, like, NFT. And then I outbid myself because I was so excited. I didn't want to get outbid. And then I still got outbid. So there's a different dynamic, and I think that could be explored if you're trying to market your NFTs. Is like, it comes into like, no, they're trying to get it, I want to win. And it drives the price up. Like, kind of have to be careful. There could be some people like wash trading, like bidding up their own stuff. But that should be something that you could explore. I don't have quite a strategy formed yet. I'm kind of like seeing how this plays out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like that you're kind of focused on the one piece that you do know how it works for now.
Yeah, and so auctions, again, it's different from sale. It's not. It's going to show up on a different place in the marketplace. But yeah, so essentially, you'd click on that and you'd click auction. You'd set a starting price. Now, one thing you can do is you can set the price. Well, not on auction, but on sale, you can set the price in USD. So if you want it to always be $1 or $2, the price of wax might fluctuate, but it's always going to be, it's going to change, right? So that could be a way to stabilize your collection if you want. I have done some USD stuff, but I like to do wax just because I believe in this platform. But you're obviously going to buy it in wax, but the amount of wax. So if it's $1 today, and wax goes to $1 tomorrow, it's still going to be $1.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Actually, could you kind of go through real quick, and then Courtney, we are going to get to answering that question here too about the highways. But so I found Atomic Assets through Wax, but I noticed on like Wax's main website they had like 13 different options or marketplaces or places you could go. Is there a reason why you also chose Atomic Assets? I mean, that is how I found you too, but I was kind of just clicking around.
Okay, so Atomic Assets is the standard. It's the technical standard, right? There's another standard called Simple Assets that are, yeah. So it's just the technical standard of how these assets are created. Like in Ethereum, you have ERC 721. That's a standard, right? So, excuse me, Atomic Assets would just be the standard. Atomic Hub is the marketplace, and it is by far the one that has the most movement. It has the most people on it. It's growing the fastest. There's some other marketplaces that are coming up that I've kind of looking at.
Called like D March. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have not. I haven't looked at that one. There's NFT Hive, I believe. If you go to the Wax Cloud wallet, you could see all the dApps, all the different decentralized applications. But by far, Atomic Hub, the marketplace, is the most popular right now. That's kind of why I'm here. It's just the like BTC Origins is there, Street Fighter's there, Cogs is there, Garbage Pail Kids is there. So that's kind of where I want it to be. Yeah. And there's more. Godzilla's coming to Atomic Hub here at the end of the month. There's some pretty big.
That's like a branding and a marketing strategy too. When you look at it, you're positioning your assets to potentially show up next to the Nikes, the Adidases, the whatever of the world, instead of just putting it on a marketplace that no one else really knows about yet.
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah. So did that answer the question of where to, how to, you wanted me to list one live?
Yeah. Kevin said, thanks for sharing. Got to get back to work. So, but no, Courtney asked to clarify again, because you were talking about like the highways, I think earlier. I guess, could you explain, like, is there a size or bandwidth difference between Ethereum and Wax? Like how big the highways that you mentioned are and how much data they can support. So I think she's trying to say, like, is there ever a point where Wax will get kind of like capped out the way Ethereum is?
So because of how Wax is built on EOS, it's fundamentally different, right? How they reach consensus, how they all agree on what's the right information on the blockchain. So maybe when Wax, as Wax grows as an ecosystem, there could be a point where it becomes more congested and resources will be a little bit more, because right now to move things around, you use what's called resources. That's how the EOS platform works, or the EOS blockchain works. But it's still going to be like magnitudes cheaper than operating on Ethereum. Ethereum is the de facto like grandfather of this smart contract space, right? That is going to be the most secure, the biggest network. It has the largest network. However, these platforms like Wax still utilize the blockchain technology, but they operate differently. So you're not going to see the gas fees like you do on Ethereum. And Ethereum is evolving. Ethereum will get to the point. There are layer 2, what's called layer 2 solutions, where you're kind of, to explain it in a simple way, you have Ethereum as the main highway. You can get like on a side highway that's faster and cheaper, and then get back onto the Ethereum highway when you're done, right? That's how a layer 2 solution that would speed it up and lower the cost. That's layer 2. And then Ethereum will also eventually add Ethereum 2.0, which changes the way that they reach consensus, which right now it's done with proof of work, which is what everybody's talking about is mining. You would essentially have way cheaper transactions, more scalability, but that's probably 2022, 2023 before they roll that out officially.
Okay. So real quick, can we do a few more like live demonstrations? Like, are we able to maybe create or mint an asset, list it, buy one, kind of just show everyone what the experience looks like?
Yeah, so let me go ahead.
I learned how to mint assets because of you before I knew you.
That's awesome. So I will go ahead and mint a new Trash Panda, right? So I click on NFT creator, and I do have a video of how to do this, but just to show you live.
Yeah.
Sorry about my cat.
You're good. And so you have a video too that kind of shows, guys, you notice how he clicked on Crypto Zootopia. This is a collection. So he has a video on his YouTube channel that'll show you how to first create the collection. And then after that, you go to, it's called the schema, which is basically the individual card, right?
Yeah, so the schema is how you would group the collections, right? Okay. So for the Trash Panda, if I'm going to mint another one, I already have this all set up. This is a schema, like this is groups within the collection, right? And then I did what's called, you can mint an individual asset, but that's not the way in my video I recommend it. You would create a template. So you don't have to redo it. So because I did the work already, I can click mint a new asset, right? And then I can pick my template, which I already preset up. I'm going to do, so see, this is where I made a mistake, right? So it says artist edition and the artist edition. I have to make sure I pick the right one, right? This is the correct one. But it auto populates all the information that I already put in for this NFT. Now I can literally mint 10 of them, up to 10 of them.
Could you scroll down real quick here too? Because this is like, see how basically, Albert, he's creating this world of like diverse, like look at all these different things that the panda can have, I guess you could say, on his card. Is that how you would say it? Like on the card?
So these are the attributes on the blockchain. So this is verifiable on the blockchain. All this stuff is stored into the blockchain. The species name, that's the scientific name for raccoon. Here's the normie name, which is raccoon. There's humor involved, right? So natural habitat, dumpster dive bars in the back alleys of Crypto Zootopia. It has the rarity. So it's a common critter, but this is a rare NFT because it's an artist version, artist edition. Special power, trash pandemonious, throat chop, sticky fingers, often hodls every token it touches, even through red death handles. So this is like a nod to the crypto space. If you don't know what any of that means, is people in the crypto space know red death candles means the market's going down. HODL means I'm holding this token. But we tried to put some humor in all of this. And then these weird characters are just IPFS hashes, which is how you store the files in a decentralized way, right? So to those who don't understand what that means, if when you store digital files, right? So like this image, instead of storing it on a server that's controlled by Amazon, right? Which at some point, Amazon, if they want, they can pull it down. IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System, which basically means that file is stored in various different computers that all participate in the network. And so essentially it's censorship resistance, and there's no central place where that file is. There's copies of it all over the place. So that file system, that file is secure to exist into the future, whether or not there's a central server hosting it or not. That's essentially what that means. And so when you mint the asset, you can use the atomic asset way, which you click on this button if you're minting the asset, and you upload the picture. But because I did the template, it automatically populates it. So that's what you're seeing. That's kind of that's the hash of the image, and that's how it displays there. So literally with the template, all I have to do is click the number I want to mint. I can do up to 10 at a time, and I click create asset. It just to confirm the actual asset and the schema. I click confirm. It's probably going to ask me to log into my. Oh man, yeah. So it's going to ask me to log into my. So now I need to do. This is an important step. Okay.
Yeah, I actually don't have this installed on mine yet either. So
you absolutely want to add two-factor authentication. Let me go and look for where to do that exactly, but let me enter this number in real quick. Okay. Actually, I don't know. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. Let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think if I shared that number, you may be able. Yeah, you could determine or have something to do with my. Okay, I got the code wrong. I typed it in wrong. Everyone. Okay. All right, let me share screen again. Okay, so I did the two-factor authentication, which is just what that means is it sends you have to open up Google Authenticator on your phone, and it gives you a code that you then use. And I would definitely recommend anybody.
I could probably just Google like how to connect Wax and 2FA, right?
Yeah. Definitely do it, because there has been some instances where there's been some phishing going on, where they send
people stealing art, burglars,
stealing NFTs, or stealing your password and emptying out your wallet. So with 2FA, you can't do that. Everybody need like at a minimum, you have to have 2FA. Now, I don't know why Wax is not requiring it, because it is custodial, which custodial means they hold the private keys instead of you holding the private keys. It's you don't have control of the private keys, which like I said, I think that it should be mandatory, so you don't have any issues. But anyway, transaction was successful. So now you're going to be on this screen, right? But it's already there. It's already been minted, right? So if I go back to go here, I just minted it. It's here. This is the one that we just minted, right? It's going to. Because I use the template, I can set the max number of assets.
Yeah, I have a question now, because this is something I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how you can make them burnable. If it's burnable, does that mean that whoever owns it at that time can burn it?
Correct.
So theoretically speaking, if you make something asset, that means that one day, if it could go back to zero. Like whoever has the last one of it, if they really wanted to, like they could burn it. Is that right?
Yeah, they could essentially destroy it if they wanted to. Now,
I was thinking about like the Mona Lisa. If there was like 3 Mona Lisas out there and they're all burnable. And the last person that had one was just like, I want the money. I don't care that it's the Mona Lisa. They could burn it. Like, isn't that, do you see that as an issue in the space?
So I see it operating differently, right? So because I set a max of 100, if somebody were to buy a few of them, let's say 10 of them, and they wanted to burn 10 of like 9 of them, in my eyes, it makes it more rare. It makes it there's less out there, right? So that's the strategy that some people do is like if there's 3 editions, they'll buy 3 of them if they can afford it, and then they'll burn 2 of them. They only have the one now.
And guys, burning means that you basically delete it from the blockchain so you can receive the value of it in wax.
If it's backed by wax tokens. Right here, these are not backed by wax tokens. That's kind of the cool thing also on wax is you can add intrinsic value to them. So like you could say, hey, I can add 50 wax to this NFT, and this NFT will always be worth 50 wax. So if wax goes to $1, that NFT will always be worth whatever that wax is. But to get that value as the owner, you have to burn it. Then you would get the holder of it would get the tokens. Now I'm not backing a lot of these assets. It's just because I don't want to introduce just the monetary side of things, but it is a viable, there's still going to be some creative things to do with that.
I'm going to get technical here real quick. Is there a difference in backing your own assets compared to staking your wax? Because when I first got wax and I didn't know what I was doing, I accidentally staked all of it and then I had to go back and buy some more. So is there a difference in staking it to putting it into the NFT?
Yeah, so staking is kind of, how do I word this without being too nerdy?
I mean, the way I see it, staking is like saying like, boom, like it's like making a long-term deposit. Like, am I going to make like kind of like I'm going to make gas off of that now, right?
You're going to make rewards off of that, yeah. So that's a whole different space that I won't get into called DeFi, decentralized finance, and that's where that comes from. It's like you stake these tokens and you can earn a yield, you can earn a return based on how they have it set up. You can earn return in some other token or in that token based on the tokenomics of that project. But yeah, staking is different from backing an asset. Backing an NFT with, let's say wax.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. So the create, buy, sell process. I think once we get through this, then we can start winding it down. But just want everyone to see kind of what it looks like.
Okay, so we just minted an asset. Now to buy an asset, I have several artists that I go ahead.
You said Courtney had another question. I think this is a quick one. Is the 2FA the only thing you can have for security on the NFTs?
No. So the other more technical, unfortunately, it is a more technical process, is to download a wallet called Anchor Wallet. Now there's 2 versions. There's a desktop version for Windows, and then there's an iPhone version. Like the mobile version is the one that I like on the iPhone because you can either way, Anchor Wallet is you hold your keys. That is the most secure way to do anything with crypto. If you don't own your own keys, then that's not yours. It's not your keys, not your crypto, not your NFTs, right? It's custodial. So Wax is the one who's being the custodian of your wallet and your assets. If you want to long-term store them or you want super security, it introduces some extra steps, but that is the most secure. But you're also responsible. If you lose the keys, you lose your assets, right? There's some responsibility for yourself to host and hold your own assets. And it's something that if you're going to be in this space, long-term, you should definitely learn how to do. But
got to have that responsibility.
Correct. So
that's why you and I like Taiwan and Japan. Got that responsibility built into the culture.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to want that extra responsibility, so they're just going to use Wax Cloud Wallet, and it's a good platform. I love the Wax Cloud Wallet. It's a great platform, but again, you're open to there's some risks. So again, you want to do the 2FA. So yeah, essentially, you would download Anchor Wallet. You would create a new account, which is also how you get like a different username. I have some links. Let me show you real quick. So if you go to niftyfarm.com, right, you click here, you're going to have all these resources. So like popular wallets, crypto glossary, popular blockchains. Here's some marketplaces. There's links to everything. Like if you're an artist and you can't afford to mint on Ethereum, there's some links on, they're doing grants to help people mint their first artwork. You can connect via chat, but yeah, you would go to popular wallets for the person who's asking this question, right? And I go through the different wallets. There's going to be a video of, like a tutorial of that wallet, kind of explains the wallet. The Wax Cloud wallet, here's a video I created on how to create NFTs with the Wax Cloud wallet. But here below, you're going to see the Anchor wallet. And here's a great tutorial by an OG in the space that I follow. I love his content. He's really cool. I think it's gonna be a really big deal. His name is Crypto Stash, and he's all into the gaming, into the gaming world. He's a cool dude. Yeah, I'm in his groups. I follow what he's doing.
Nice.
But yeah, crypto. Yeah,
your stuff and his stuff is what got us to this conversation.
Yeah, he's cool. I love what he's doing. I'd love to collab with him here in the coming future. But yeah, he created a really cool video on how to do the Anchor wallet stuff, right? So how to set up the private keys, how to set up the wallet. That is the most secure option, right? And after you've experienced the Wax Cloud wallet, I think this would be the logical next step. But again, it does add extra friction, right? And also there is some additional cost to hosting your own keys. With the Wax Cloud wallet, basically your resources are paid for by Wax to use it. When you have your own wallet, you need to stake some Wax to kind of pay for the resources. It's not expensive, right? I probably have like 5 or 10 Wax staked. Then that's good enough to use, but you just need to be aware that you have to pay for the resources on that. But yeah, that's where you'd find it. NFT
resources. You're talking about like that RAM, right? On Wax.
Correct. RAM. Yeah. RAM and CPU and all that. But yeah, so this is how you would do it. If you want to know how to do it, there's a really good walkthrough on how to do it there on the website. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Guys, go to nftyfarm.com. I just put it in the chat again. All your resources right there. And this is we're still gonna get to this buying and selling part. But guys, just take a look at again, what Albert is doing. Clearly he's put a priority on service and teaching others. And I think when you've identified who you are called to serve, just the good things continue to snowball and great things come. So just stay connected to this guy after this video. You're going to have a good time. So what do we got here? You're going to Gnome.
Yeah, this is a series I really, I know this artist. I love this. This is one of those unwhitelisted NFTs that I really feel. Yeah, I really feel like he's going to be successful. Like they are cranking out stuff. They are all over Twitter. Their following is growing and he's not whitelisted, right? So I actually love this Gnome to the Moon, right? This is a play on Elon Musk, right? So this is listed. I just clicked on it on the marketplace. I'm going to go ahead and buy this because I love this. You're going to have this. I understand this asset's not whitelisted. It's not verified. Make sure the collection is not fake. It's not a fake of another collection.
Okay, wow.
So you can verify that. The way I would verify that is I look at the collection name, right? I happen to know that this wallet is the artist. I know that because I've done my own research. But you can go, if there's a way to contact them or whatever, you can talk to them and see, you can do some additional due diligence. But because I know who this is, I know there's only.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like this. So now what I'm looking at here is 52 of 60. That's how many exist right now, but there's no max number set. So this would be a lower priced. You should see a lower price here. Right now it's 250 Wax. I'm going to just go ahead and click buy for 2.5 Wax.
How did you find Gnome? Was it through a Telegram group?
So I'm pretty active in a bunch of different NFT groups. And I saw what he was doing. I saw what he was posting. I kind of got in on some early ones that I really liked. That was one of the auctions. That was the auction that I was a part of yesterday. I got outbid at the last minute. I think he's gonna be really successful, and I believe in what he's doing. His project is pretty cool. So yeah, that was me just buying the asset, right? So for me to see that, I'm kind of in the way over here. Okay, so for me to see that what I just purchased, obviously you might not see if you have this only whitelisted NFTs selected. You're only going to see the whitelisted ones.
I have the and one of the whitelisted ones you had. I've got the same one as you in my collection. Go here.
Which one?
This is the geekiest I've got. The evolved blob. How hello blob. I remember I saw that one time when I clicked on it. I accidentally bought like 10 of them because there you go, because it was like a cent.
Yeah, I mean, I just buy stuff that I find interesting. Like I see there's an app called let me find it for you. This is how people are browsing the new collections and stuff. There's called drops. There's an app on the Android store called Atomic Drops Notifier. And so every time there's a new drop, and there's always new drops, like people are just constantly uploading drops. You get to see what's coming out. And so anything I see that's interesting, I'm like, ooh, that's really cheap. There's only going to be 5 of these. I'm going to go ahead and buy it real quick. So that's kind of how I discover. And so that kind of looked interesting to me. It is whitelisted now. I haven't looked into the project, but like I said, I will just, because there's no friction here and it doesn't cost so much money, I don't mind, taking a gamble on something,
Right.
or, I'm spending 50 cents or 5 cents or 10 cents or whatever, I'll do it because, for me on this platform, it's more about buying and collecting what you like, the projects that you're a part of, the communities that you're involved with, like Crypto Stash, like I'm in his community. So I've bought some of his NFTs. I have a one of one of his NFTs, which I think is going to be worth some money one day, but yeah, that asset, again, you go to inventory and then you have to make sure if it's an unwhitelisted item, you unclick that because it won't show up. So now there's the asset. It's in my wallet. I own it. That is mine. Okay. I could list it on the market. I can back some tokens and then put it on the market. Like it's not just the creator who can back it with tokens. Like you as the owner can put some tokens behind it and try to sell it or auction it or whatever, which could be a play. Like, right now, like if you think wax is going to grow over the next year, you can back some, put some wax tokens and put it on the auction, put it up for auction and somebody buys it now. Cause that is a strategy that some really advanced people are doing, is like in the very beginning, they put some tokens behind, let's say they put 50 wax and it was only a penny. And now, but they're selling the NFT for like $1. Well, you could literally search for those and find an NFT that's worth, 10x or 5x what you're going to pay for it, because it's just old and people are not on the platform anymore. So that's kind of like a little secret tip I learned from a guy named Ken Bozak, who's also an OG in this space.
So listing something for like 5 wax, even if you've got it, or I'm sorry, backing it for 5 wax, even if you've got it listed for like 100 in the long run, could somehow be a strategic play.
Yeah.
Could you explain how again? Because
okay, so it's probably not going to be moving forward, but some of the older listings that have been posted, like people, they backed it with tokens. They only wanted a few dollars or a few wax for it, but it's the backing has more wax in it than you're going to pay for it. So you could literally buy that for whatever the price is and then burn it and get that wax if you want to. That's just a little strategy.
You got to be on the lookout for that.
Correct. Yeah. That's like that's a trick I learned from Ken Bozak, who's an OG in this space. He's got a cool YouTube channel.
I mean, dude, you're about to be an OG in this space.
No, there's been some guys. I mean, I hate that I didn't get into this earlier because I saw the writing on the wall for a long time. I started my YouTube channel over 2 years ago, and kind of life got in the way, and I kind of stopped doing it. And so I'm like, man, why did I do that? I could have been building during all this time before all of this became big, but now I'm here to stay. Like I'm not. The writing's on the wall. This is not going back in the bag. I'm here to. I want to be a part of this. I want to help people to kind of lower because this is overwhelming. Even for someone like me, there's so much going on, literally so many new things going on that sometimes I find it hard to focus on one thing, because I'm like, oh my God, this new thing is coming out. Like I have to segment my time and like, okay, I'm only going to spend this amount of time looking into new stuff.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It can be overwhelming. It really, and if you've never been in this world, if you've never been in the crypto world or the NFT space, like it can get overwhelming. Like you can get on Clubhouse and spend 8 hours on Clubhouse listening. You can do that. And then you're like, I didn't do anything that I was supposed to do today. So there's just so much excitement here.
So real quick, I sent you. You can see it in our chat here on Zoom. That D merch is something that I heard about. I just don't know if you have heard of this. I don't know if it's a marketplace. Are you able to get back to the Zoom? I think you probably have to like stop
Yeah,
sharing.
stop share. Yeah. Where do I go? Chat here.
I'll put it in the Facebook stream too right now, guys. Actually, I think I already did. No, not yet. So, anyways, Jillian Godsold, who was in our group the other day, she spoke about this marketplace. I don't know anything about it or merchandise. So,
Man,
does this sound like something you've heard?
I have not heard of this yet. So I could be totally ignorant, and this is like a big player in the space, but it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna have to look into this.
Yeah, she said they're coming soon. So once I think she's gonna let me know because she's connected with them. What because for me, all I know is it's something exciting in the blockchain space tied to NFTs, and I have no more knowledge than that. But
yeah, you just showed me something that I have not heard of, so I'm gonna definitely look into that. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, I mean that's the cool thing about this space right now. Like, so one thing I want to talk about real quick with, because there's a lot of artists out there who are minting stuff on Ethereum, right? And they look at a blockchain like Wax and they don't see high-end art. And they're like, well, that's not my jam, because it's not like Nifty Gateway. It's not like Rarible. It's not high end. See, the Wax ecosystem is the highway. There are going to be marketplaces that cater to high end art. It's just going to be operated in Wax. Those marketplaces, those platforms are being built. Like, that's why I'm learning smart contracts. That's why I want to learn how to develop and read them, because that's the other thing is like, you really don't know what these smart contracts are doing. Like, even on OpenSea, big platforms like OpenSea or Rarible or whatever, if you can't read a smart contract, you don't know how it really operates. So you're relying on someone else to tell you how it operates. I don't want to do that. I want to know what the smart contract is doing. I want to be able to build a platform for artists. Like, I want to be able to build things. That's just me personally, like my long-term play, my long-term play into this space. But yeah, like, this is growing. And so if you establish your community, right, the other thing is using a blockchain like Wax allows you to test things for very cheap. And another video, like I said, I'm going to make, is very important, is how to get on the test net so you don't make mistakes that are public on the public blockchain. You make them on a test network with fake Wax. Correct. I've done it too. All of us have done it. And so you make your stuff on the test network.
Is it that bad? Like, just like, because I have two collections that I kind of screwed up on. Like, is it worthy of going back and just making a new like profile?
Not in my opinion. In my opinion, I think it would be a personal thing. If you really screwed it up, like you feel like it can't be redeemed, maybe I wouldn't do it, just because it's a public scar. Like you right. Like it's not that big a deal, right? It's, to me, in my head, it's as long as you don't you start to that's why you need to understand the platform before you start minting a little bit. You understand that schemas are groups of collections, and templates are an easy way to mint the same asset over and over, right? And also to set a max number. So you should understand some of these things before you just go crazy minting.
I think another thing you should understand is, from what I can see, it really is important to have, like, for mine, it was just, I wanted to get it up very simple. I didn't really care about like the attributes and you had like the rarity and like all these different attributes. I think from what I'm seeing now, the more, maybe not the more attributes you have, but if you have from like 5 to 12, then your credibility goes up, because it shows like, yo, this person is putting in the work to make sure that this is going to scale, compared to me, where I was just like, oh, just throw it up and get it up.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a learning experience, right? So, man, this cat is driving me nuts.
It's okay. It's not that bad.
Can't hear it very loud.
I mean, you can hear it, but it's like I think we're talking about like such cool stuff. I don't care. I don't think anyone else
okay. Yeah, so that is kind of got me sidetracked thinking about
it. It's all right. No, I did have another question here too, and I'm trying to figure out maybe
the attributes. That is where the exploration is, right? As a creator, if you're going to be creating NFTs, you can add additional usability or utility to your NFTs. Like some of the artists that I know of, like Ken Bozak has a really cool series. He does collaborations with different artists. One of the artists is a physical artist, right? So he's selling an NFT, a one of one, which actually then also gets a physical painting. So if you own the NFT, they're also sending you, I think the artist is signing it and sending you. The artist's name is Nanu Burks. She's a really cool artist. Her art is really cool. They did a collaboration. There's some added utility you can supply to your community. If you're trying to build a community, for instance, for me, I have an NFT that I gave out for the first 5 people who were in my Facebook group, right? And so I added the utility of saying, hey, because you were the first 5 here, in the future, I'm going to be randomly airdropping you NFTs.
I saw that. I saw you guys go. I put it. I think it's in the description of the group. You can go join Albert's Facebook group, and I saw you put something in there for the first people who got like a free drop or whatever.
Yeah. So I will reward, because I can use Wax for so cheap. I can mint, assets for basically free almost. I can give away NFTs, or I can buy other artists' NFTs that are cheap, and I can gift them to people because they hold my NFT, right? I know who's holding it. That's a whole, there's some apps that you can use. That's another set of videos, but there's a way to reward your community, right? There's a way to build. This is part of what's so exciting about NFTs is like, essentially it's like a social currency you can create for you and what you're doing in your brand, that you can reward your community for being there, spending time with you,
I heard Lil Pump did a drop where, help me get this clear. So basically, if you buy his art or whatever, his NFT, then you have a chance to play NBA 2K with him live or something like that. Like that's how it kind of works, right?
Yeah, that's cool. You couldn't do that before without, in my mind, like I guess there was some platforms where you could do it, but this just makes it so much easier to do now with having your own NFTs, right? Yeah, that's essentially that. Now that is subject to the person who's selling it, right? So saying like that, the fact that they're going to follow through with that, you're basically trusting that they're going to do that. However, if they don't do that, the community is going to talk about it, right? Because there's a record.
And where I see a lot of opportunity with that celebrity idea, let me know what you think about this, is especially for someone like yourself, and I think I'm hopefully like getting a little bit more knowledgeable. You could be a huge connector and asset to a celebrity who's never looked at this before, and be like, hey, I'll set all this up for you. You've got 100,000 people that love you to death. Tell them that you'll go live with them for a half hour, and we'll drop 30 of these Coca-Cola bottles.
that is a huge opportunity. There's going to be some people who take advantage of people in that space. I already see that. So this is why you need to be educated. If you have an audience, you should definitely be educating yourself on this. You should know when somebody's full of crap. Somebody who comes in and says, hey, I'm going to do all your NFTs, and they set the royalties for themselves, right? And then you're promoting it and they're getting, like you need to be careful with that. But yeah, I definitely see opportunity there.
How could you, I was thinking about that the other day. So how could because I've seen now with, for example, the royalties, I guess you would want to get whitelisted first if you're working with a celebrity. Or maybe, I guess you wouldn't have to, because at the end of the day, you guys know it's the real thing, but you can only set your royalties as the main creator on Wax. Like, how do you make it so that way both like you and the celebrity would benefit from like resale?
Okay, so on Wax, they're going to evolve this, but this is kind of how we're going to do it with Crypto Zootopia. Is I will show the artist, how to do this. I will let them create, for the sketch at least, right? The sketch, when they will create the NFT, they will then set their, for my series at least, I want it to be a set royalty. We're going to have a set price and a set royalty for the sketches to make it easy and cheap to vote. However, they will set the royalties, and then they will transfer those assets over to our account. Our account is where the election will happen. Now, whenever people purchase that NFT, that original artist is getting that royalty. That would be a way to do it on Wax, where the artist creates it, then it gets transferred to you as the person who's helping them. Then that locks in their royalty, but also you would collect the, whatever you're spending, whatever.
So
whatever
in that case, would Crypto Zootopia in that case be a part of the transaction from a one-time transaction perspective, or there would be royalties for Crypto Zootopia as well?
So for the sketches, the initial entry into it, the artist, Crypto Zootopia is not a part of the ongoing royalties. However, because once they get the official contract, we are the ones minting the actual asset, right? Then we will then be, we have our royalty set. Now the whole premise for that is like the funds, part of the funds will go to like a approved charity. Part of the funds will go into like a community fund that will help sponsor artists that maybe can't afford it, or be able to hire developers and things like that. But yeah, that's how you would ensure though. We would create the official NFT, and how to verify that. Like, obviously you probably use other social channels, right? So you have a Instagram following with 100,000 followers. Like, this is the official, if you have a blue check or whatever, this is the official, you're linking that to show like, hey, this is the source. This is the original NFT.
Okay, got it.
So eventually they're going to be able to, I know the developers are talking about being able to split royalties between different parties. That's coming in the future. There's some other platforms that allow that. I think cargo.build allows that right now. But I think that's Ethereum. That is Ethereum based. However, on Wax, that's kind of the way I would do it. Is the original is minted by the artist, and then you would transfer that. You could just transfer it for whatever, for free if you wanted to. If you have an agreement to do that, then you could sell it and you would make the difference, and then the artist would get that royalty. And every time it's sold after that.
Good stuff. Man, thank you for spending this time with us here today, Albert. One thing you said you were working on learning how to write smart contracts too. I just want to get that resource in the chat. So if anyone else wants to go, in a way, self-educate, I'm sure there's somebody like teaching the course or whatever that you're going through, but you're kind of,
so taking the, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the Nifty Farm website as well, like where to learn this stuff. But you can look on, so this is very, very, like, this is super, super technical, right? So if you don't have an appetite for that, like if you don't know anything about coding, it's high friction, right? I got a book several years ago. This is backwards, but it's Introducing Ethereum and Solidity, which is the essentials. But because this language,
what was it called?
It's called Introducing Ethereum and Solidity by Chris Dannon. It's very nerdy, but it explains the basics of how Ethereum works, how Solidity, the language, that's the main language for smart contracts. It's the Ethereum language that was created for smart contracts.
It's funny. For whatever reason, it's the first time I've ever seen like a book on Ethereum. Like,
there's several. But the problem with tutorials right now, and what I'm learning in the courses, is that the language syntax, the grammar of the language keeps changing with every new version. And so I'm learning version 0.5, but it's already on 0.8. And the way that things are done is differently. So that's kind of what you have to be careful with to understand, like, hey, I'm going to learn the basics on this old version, but then I also have to understand that some of the rules of how things work, it's improving. I need to learn the new version. So you can look on udemy.com.
Yep.
There's a couple of good courses on there. DApp University. That guy has a really cool channel that teaches this stuff. But again, it's highly technical. You kind of have to be really determined to be willing to learn this stuff. But yeah, that's where I would go. DApp University. There's Ivan on Tech. Ivan on Tech. I'm gonna put all this stuff on.
I've heard of Ivan on Tech for sure.
Yeah, these guys have been in the space for a long time. There's also another one called Eat the Blocks. These are all guys teaching developers how to develop on these platforms. And like long term, I'm thinking like smart contracts is not going away. There's other platforms that have smart contracts. There's other languages. I just see a tremendous value if that's, a career change kind of thing that you want to do, or just there's going to be so much value in knowing how to speak the language of smart contracts, whether you're a consumer, so you can read what's going on and you know what the smart contract is doing, or whether you're a builder or an entrepreneur, you can hire a developer or you can develop yourself.
I really want that to to stand out here too, guys. If you heard Albert, I mean, we're seeing it more and more. Traditional education is one, evolving, but two, also like from a value perspective, people are going out there and they're getting these degrees and then they're still looking for a job for years. You can go to Udemy or learn from Ivan on Tech or any of these people that Albert just mentioned and fast track your way to a good job, or building your own company, or just doing things that people are going to crave, especially moving forward since it's such a new technology. So again, to hear that you're that you've also got what it takes to want to go and learn this. I know for me, as soon as I hear anything about coding or like this, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stick to talking and being on camera, right? But, to me, it's valuable to know that's what you're working on. I can see now how you are working towards creating, establishing, and building your own platform, which if you look back through our group, when I first started geeking out about NFTs in here, I was like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but like, I just want everyone to know, like, this is an exciting space. We can get in now. I want everyone else to shine and to get in early and like just build a next level community of like NFT focus. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I feel like talking to you today, I'm like, dude, this is a step in the right direction. So I will be sending you like a sketch for sure for Crypto Zootopia, like absolutely sending you one.
Yeah. So I want to stress that, like what you're saying is this is people might think, some people are talking about this is a bubble or this is a fad. And in my opinion, like, yes, some of these art, some of these astronomical prices that people are paying for some of this art, a lot of these projects will go, they'll lose money. But as far as the underlying technology, as far as NFTs, as far as crypto, like this is not going away. Like this is moving forward, a foundational shift in our world, right? It's not going away. And so if you can be a part of that underlying ecosystem, I think that it's a win-win, and doing the things that people are unwilling to do right now, like coding. Like I don't like coding. I've done web development. I don't like it. However, the shortage in the coding world, in the developer world, and the shortage of smart contract qualified people, like they're getting ridiculous amounts of money right now. If you will educate yourself, like there's a ridiculous amount of money up for grabs. And that might not be your reason, like I have, yes, the money is good, but I have philosophical reasons why I want to be a part of this. Like I believe in the decentralized world. I believe in the power that this technology has to liberate people and choose where they want to participate. Like these legacy systems.
You're in the right group for that, man. You're in the right group for that. So,
I mean, think about it. Like if, like maybe you don't have anything to do with art. You're not an artist, but you're into real estate like you are, right? Real estate, I see a massive opportunity in the real estate space.
The thing about real estate is it's actually probably one of the slowest moving industries. And so you can like become very knowledgeable in blockchain right now and still reap the benefits introducing real estate firms to this technology like 10 years from now. And thankfully, I've actually worked with one of the pioneers where real estate and blockchain come together right now. But yeah,
imagine being a part of that. Like, hey, I'm going to learn this so I can get involved. When these big players get involved, like you said, it's going to take a long time, but you can be a part of that. There's so much value in that. I think, that's kind of why I'm looking into these things. But yeah.
All right. Final call to action. We've got nftyfarm.com. Definitely. We'll put it in the chat one more time, guys. Go check that out. Albert, we've tagged your group, guys, in the description of this video. So definitely go join Albert's group. Is there any other places you'd like people to go check some things out?
On nftyfarm.com, go to the research. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me show you. Okay. So I'm going to show you some other people to follow. Okay. Cool. So this is a T-Merch. I'm definitely going to check that out. So nftyfarm.com, you go to the very top, Learn NFTs resource page, click on popular NFT research links, right? This is going to be a big resource here. I have stuff for artists. This is going to continuously change. For collectors, this is more collector centric, different websites to track things, to look at NFTs. But what I want you to do is go and follow all of these people. Go to the YouTube channels to follow Ken Bozak, Crypto Stash, any observation. Some of this stuff is more technical. Some of this stuff they're crypto centric in general, but they have some NFT stuff. But just start to get exposed to some of the other creators in this space, because you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be exposed to new projects, new ideas. Ken Bozak, Crypto Stash, like Crypto Stash, there's a lot of gaming. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of blockchain games that you get to, you get paid to play. But I learn a lot of things. I've learned about so many different projects and possibilities from watching some of these channels. And so, yeah, go ahead and follow some of these people.
You're a reiteration of that, right? Like I saw one of your YouTube videos, and I'm like, let's figure out who Albert Polanco is, and now we know, his resources. So do you have? I'm just real quick. Do you have? I know you said you might have you're establishing your relationship with Crypto Stash, which is awesome. And these other guys, are you maybe going to collaborate with any of them?
Yeah, I would love to collaborate with Ken and Crypto Stash. Like I'm in their Telegram groups. And their communities, what I'm attracted to is their communities are so genuine, right? There's just, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to learn. The people are supportive. Ken is, from my experiences of Ken, like he's such a genuine person, right? And he is who he is.
What are some because I just created a Telegram group too, because I'm getting into the space. What are some of the hacks you're seeing? Like, what are the leaders doing? Like, are they speaking? They're doing voice messages to their group every day? Are they posting videos? They just kind of like what's like a thing to?
So what I'm seeing, some of these guys do is they create YouTube videos. So they're doing their podcast on YouTube videos, and they're streaming on different platforms. There's decentralized platforms like theta.tv, which is like a YouTube. It's a decentralized YouTube. Crypto Stash is big on that one. He's exposed me to different platforms, and I kind of like what's going on over there. That's one to check out. But yeah, they're posting videos and they're posting content, talking about it, bringing on guests like what we're doing here, and they're growing their audience that way in the Telegram groups.
I like the way this looks.
Yeah, it's blown up as a project.
Is it like the new Twitch?
Yeah, it's this decentralized version, and there's some really cool
guys. There you go, another golden nugget. I don't know what's going to come out of this, but I could be wrong. I feel like probably most of us in here have never heard of theta.tv, and I don't even know what it is yet, but it looks really cool.
I mean, it went from, as a token, it went from like pennies to now it's like $13. So there's some early adopters who made some, on the investment side, investing on that side. But it's evolving as a platform. There's a community growing around it. The reason, like I say, people like Crypto Stash will be huge is like in his Theta, like there's only a couple thousand people following him in Theta because Theta's so new. But I see him and the content he's creating. I see the value he's creating. He's going to be essential, a big figure in this space over the next few years. So you can be a part of those communities. He gifts out NFTs during his live, like in Theta, like on Theta, you can give people away NFTs in that platform. Right. So
I'm creating my Theta account right now. Is it, would you compare it to Twitch? Like if I have a gamer tag, would I want to make that my username on Theta?
Yeah. If you want to keep the same username, I've made the mistake of having like 5 different usernames on different platforms, like Telegram and then Discord. And it's like so many platforms you have to learn. I have different names. People don't know who I am. So I'm trying to go back and like change my usernames to one, which is Cryptovert. That was my YouTube channel. That's a mistake I would advise people not to make. Use the same username so people, as you cross over different platforms, people know who you are. Theta is really cool. But yeah, just follow people. Also on this website, on the research page, there's news, right? So you can check out the popular websites for where to find the news, like what's the new things going on. OpenSea blog, there's Decrypt news. There's links to all these places where you can start following the content, following what's going on. You can keep like a thumb on the beat of what's going on, but really the YouTube for me has been the fastest. Like I hear about stuff, the newest stuff, the fastest, because it's just people talking about it. You know, in these Telegram groups, somebody shares something before it ever hits a website. You know, like, have you seen this? Like, you just showed me Dmerch. I learned it because we're talking about it. You know, otherwise I wouldn't have heard about it until it was on a website like dap.com or dap radar when it was already growing. You know, I was like, oh man, I missed this thing. But yeah, that's kind of the last thing I wanted to share was this page here.
Appreciate it, man.
I want to aggregate all this, and there's some other websites. You know, I'm going to be sharing other websites that share resources. There's another one called nfts.tips. They have a huge resource. They're huge on Clubhouse. So yeah, I just want to create a resource for the community who's interested in NFTs here.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't create enough thank yous to send your way. So I'm just going to send you one and say that's times at least 1 million. Thank you, Albert, for coming on here and sharing with our group. This is, I mean, you know, there's a little bits and pieces of the conversations that we have here in this group that we might leak out to, you could say, the public, but I really want this community to also to know and to feel that we're delivering, you know, cutting edge behind the scenes information, and it's fun to be here. So, and if you, again, Albert's got all of his stuff out there that you've seen here publicly. So if there's anything you want to go deeper on, you can go to his website. Yeah, we'll cap it here. I'm going to follow up with you here after we end the recording, Albert, but thank you for this session and look forward to our next collaboration.
Yes, sir. And it was a good time. I love talking about this. I can just keep talking about it. It's fair. There's so much stuff going on. It's crazy. Yeah, but thank you for allowing me to be here. I mean, I hope this was valuable to some people. I know maybe some of the stuff we said went over their head or they don't understand it. Like, that's just the encouragement. Like, hey, go look it up. Like, this is an opportunity. Go look those things up. Go do some research, because I didn't listen to Bitcoin when, you know, I didn't listen to people when Bitcoin was $50, and look at where it is now. Like, this is what I want to put in people's minds. It's not just monetary, but there is some monetary benefit in having knowledge now and getting involved 5 years, 10 years down the line, 30 years down the line. Imagine, you know, being a part of something, being a part of the foundational growth of a whole shift in our economy, our society. 30 years, what is your 30 year, you know, 30 years from now, you're going to thank yourself for saying, hey, I did some research, I got involved. That's
hold on one second, I had to grab this book. I actually haven't, I have only read like 2 pages. I've only read like 2 pages of this book, but it goes right with what you're saying, guys. And this was recommended to me through someone in our mastermind who gave a presentation recently. Where will you be? Where will you be 5 years from today? So what we're talking about here today, all you got to do is look at this book and listen to what Albert just said, and you get it. You should get it. I hope you get it.
I mean, I've made mistakes, right? This is the last thing I can keep talking, but I've made mistakes, right? I started to learn Solidity. I started learning the smart contract stuff over 2 years ago. And I let my life and things in my life detract me and stop me. And had I done that 2 years ago, man, I'd be in a totally different place financially, ecosystem wise, branding wise. Like, it's taught me a lesson, right? Seeing how this just rocketed, like, I could have been in a totally different position. So I don't want others to do the same thing. Like, hey, I heard about it. You know, it's kind of too much. Do the research. You're going to thank yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But yeah, that's my whole spiel. I thank you for putting this together, you know, like, hope we can do this again. You know, we can do this. I just see, I like what you're about. I like what your brand is about. I like what you're doing. So I think we could definitely collaborate in the future moving forward.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Likewise, we'd love to have, you know, members of your group as well come over here and join our group. Good Absolutely. Vibes all around. Gorilla love over everything. I saw the gorilla love, like love over this, love, love. Yes, that's it. Yeah. So guys, go check out, if you go to Albert's, they got to go to your, how do they check out can they buy Gorilla Vibe stuff? I just forgot about that. Yeah.
Gorilla Vibe is still live. GorillaVibe.com.
What's the website?
GorillaVibe.com.
Okay.
so there hasn't been as much focus there because of all this NFT stuff. So and some of those characters may be familiar to Cryptozootopia because I created them a while
Trash
back.
Panda. I see the baby
Yeah.
suit Trash Panda.
Yeah. So we have like onesies and t-shirts and stuff like that. And you can hear this, you can kind of read the story of the genesis of that brand, which is about me and my wife, you know, and her struggles with the seizures and what happened and everything. So it's just, it was in my mind a failure that I'm repurposing because I let it go. I kind of, because life is in the way, you know. Now it's a way for me to kind of reframe some of the work that I did there with the NFT stuff that we're doing.
Right, you can kind of merge the two, and it's something where, you know, anything with clothing, I feel like once you've built up the capital to invest in marketing and advertising, like it can really take off. And so with what you're doing in the NFT space, I feel like it's only a matter of time before you just, you know, throw a little couple grand in there, do some ads, do some marketing, then that thing starts snowballing. So
Yeah.
good stuff, man. All right, for the 18th time. Goodbye. I'm going to end the stream, then we'll catch up here real quick too. So
Okay.
guys, thank you for tuning in to this special. I got to figure out a name for like these pop-up interviews we're doing. Sometimes we call them next level pop-ups. Anyways, my name is Adam Carswell. That's Albert Polanco. Thank you for joining us. Remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.